All right, Shalom. This is the brother Gamal Ya'Allah out of GMS Atlanta, giving all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, also giving double honors to the apostles, and Shalom to our Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, this lesson is centered around examining yourself. Okay, constantly meditating, on your actions. All right. Um, Analyzing yourself, okay, um, and getting better, okay, because we're in this thing to improve. All right, so we have to improve on our weaknesses, okay, and we have to strengthen what we're good at, okay, and a part of that is having a strong foundation, okay. So I guess I'll go ahead and get straight into it. This is Lamentations 3:40. It's like 3:40. It says, "Let us search and try our ways and turn again to the Lord." Okay, and that word "try" means to test. Okay, let us search and test our ways. Okay, all right. So we have to constantly test ourselves. All right, um, sit down and think. Okay, all right. You know, you have to think about, if you're, what are you in this thing for? Okay, all right. Are you in this thing for, um, self gratification? Are you in this thing just to be a part of something? All right, or are you in this thing to wake up the elect and praise Yahawah BAHASHAM Yahushai? All right. All right. Now those are the right reasons to be in this thing. Okay. But we have to constantly check ourselves, man. You have to constantly, dissect, um, who you are. Step back from yourself for a minute and just deal with reality, okay? And you have to evaluate yourself honestly, okay? All right. Pull out of a preset. 1 second, okay. All right, this is Galatians 6:4. And it says, "But let every man prove his own work, and then he shall have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another." See? So, all right, so you have to prove your own work, okay? All right. Um, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not another, and not in another, okay? So if you're in this thing, all right, to do the will, to do the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? All right, then you're gonna rejoice in that, okay? All right, you have to prove your own. Uh, you have to have your own walk, man. You have to do your own thing. You can't coattail someone, okay? All right. Um, you got to be in this thing for yourself, all right? And you have to know that you're really in this thing, man. All right. If all hell breaks loose tomorrow, all right, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna bitch up, or are you going to uh, stand for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and stand firm? Okay. All right. Once they got the AK to your head, are you going to give it up? Give up all these years that you've been studying and pushing the truth? All right. Are you gonna give it up, or are you gonna say fuck it and just you know tell them tell them kill me? All right. So these are the things that we have to ponder. Okay, we have to meditate on these things. And another thing that I wanted to touch on is the how. Okay, and what I mean by that is, I'm constantly saying, I'm constantly telling, uh, preaching the message of evaluating yourself, right? But how you do it is you sit down, all right, get a blank piece of paper, okay, and you just write down uh, your strengths, okay. You write down a list of your strengths, whatever your strengths are in this truth, all right, whether it's Hebrew, whether it's teaching, okay, whether it's prophecy, all right, or breakdowns, okay, whatever it is, or it could be brotherhood. You might be a good brother, okay, but whatever it is, your strengths, you write those down, right, and then you do your weaknesses, okay, and you go through and break it down, okay, and you got to get specific, okay, you got to get specific and you got to be honest, man. All right, so once you make that list of your strengths and weaknesses, right, then you rate yourself, okay, give yourself an honest rating on how you're doing in that particular area, okay, just like in grade school, okay, you had different subjects, all right, and you get a grade on, you know, on your report card, okay? You get different grades in different subjects. So you might be really good at math, so to speak. You might have an A in math, okay, but then you might have an F in history, right? So you gotta be able to, you know, knowing that, okay, if you rate yourself low in a particular area, then you need to focus on that. Okay, you need to focus on improving that and boosting boosting you know that improving yourself in that area. Okay, all right. So you these are things that you got to do. Okay, you got to sit down I mean, you have to know yourself, man, because in order to conquer yourself, all right, you have to know yourself, because this is a I'm gonna pull it out too. But this is a constant war between the flesh and the spirit. Okay, so in order to conquer your flesh, you have to know your flesh. Okay, this is Galatians 5:17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. Okay, so it says, um, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit. Okay, so there's a constant war in your mind. Okay, that's um, that's basically, it's like that on TV, or certain shows, they'll have the devil and the angel on your shoulder. It's the same thing, man. That's your spirit. That's what's going on in your mind. Okay, the angel on your shoulder is telling you, right, what's right, to do, and the angel's on your right side as well. All right, so the angel's telling you to do the work, to you know give diligence, okay, to pray, to to just do the will of the Lord, and just keep the Most High first. All right, YAHAWASHI first, okay. And on the left hand, all right, your flesh is constantly trying to get you to go off, okay, constantly trying to let you be distracted, okay, um, constantly. I mean, that's pretty much it. Be distracted, all right, and try to throw you off to sin, right? Okay, so like I said before, um, knowing yourself is important. Okay, you have to know. Uh, you have to study yourself. Okay, because you're your biggest enemy. All right. So in order to defeat your flesh, you have to know your flesh. Okay. All right. And you have to know what it is uh, that your low points. Okay. You got to be well rounded. All right. You can't just be um, in this truth we got to be jack of all trades, man. You can't just have an A in one subject and then an F in the other, man. Because guess what? There's such a thing as a GPA, a grade point average. Okay. All right. So a GPA, with that in mind, okay, we have uh, we have a particular grade point average in this truth. Okay, as a whole. Okay. So um, I have an article. All right. And this is just something to go through whenever you sit down and evaluate and evaluate yourself. All right, I'll read it. It says how to evaluate yourself. A lot has been written over the years about developing your strengths and ignoring your weaknesses, or work on weaknesses to become a more well-rounded individual. See, for example, if you are a hard worker but not well organized, show that. I'm gonna skip down, but these are these are the things that. All right, you see these bullet points. These are some of the things. These are some of the criteria that you should uh, put down when you're evaluating yourself. Ambition, okay? All right, do you have goals? And do you plan to reach those? All right, our goal is what? Our goal is salvation, okay? Do you have ambition to get the hell up out of here? Okay? If that's your goal, all right, do you have a plan to reach your goal? Yeah, and we do have a plan. Our plan is to keep pushing this word and keep pushing this word to the elect and doing the work, right? Confidence. Do you know the quality of your work, right? The quality of your work, all right? The Lord doesn't want no half-ass work. And do you have the skills now or the capability to achieve them? Organization. Are you well organized? Okay. And that's another thing. We have to be organized in this truth. Okay. You have to have your life organized. You got, um, you, you got to, especially, planning your days out. Okay. Organization, setting up a schedule throughout your day. Okay. Brothers got kids. Brothers got, you know, uh, school. Well, your kids go to school, but you got work. Okay, you got your all kind of other stuff going on. So you want to uh, set it up, organize yourself so that you can uh, do as much as you can for the Lord. Okay. All right. Um, leadership. All right. And leadership also goes into being a good brother. Okay. Um, you know, um, coming up on a level. All right, and setting an example amongst younger brothers. All right, risk taking, and I'm just gonna uh, skip that one. Humility. See, so that's also a key one too. So these are some of the things that when you evaluate yourself, you have to consider. Okay, and you know, rate yourself on these criteria. Okay, all right, you know, and you know, when you jot down your strengths and weaknesses, you know, make sure you include, you know, history, Hebrew, um, health, energy, your energy throughout the day, you know, your schedule, how well you know, you schedule your day. Okay, and you know, I mean, this is really important. I really think brothers should do this. Is to sit down and to write this down. Okay, because once you do that, you'll know uh, what to what to improve on. You'll know what you need to be spending more time on. Okay, all right, and you can spend less energy or less time into your strengths because you're already strong in that. Okay, but the key is to focus on your weaker points. All right, and improve those. All right. This is for 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. All right. Know ye not your own selves how that YAHAWASHI is in you, except ye be reprobates? Okay. So the key there is examine yourself whether ye be in the faith. Okay. You gotta ask yourself, and you know, am I serious about this thing? You know, am I serious about, you know, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI? Okay, am I sincere about this? Okay. Psalms 4:4. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune. Okay, yeah. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Okay? And that word commune um, is synonymous with the word meditate. Okay? Commune with your own heart. And your heart is your mind. Okay? So meditate in your mind upon your bed. So you have to meditate in your mind and constantly, uh, you know, you know, think, analyze, you know, and just think about your day to day actions. Okay, you gotta sit back and reflect on your day, and okay, what did I do today? All right, and what could I have done better uh, to serve to do the work? Okay, and then you take those whatever you felt like you can improve on, you take that and you apply it to the next day. Okay, all right, but the key is to get better and better and better. All right, you know, whatever your issue is, maybe you're not getting enough rest, maybe it's energy. Okay, whatever it is, you have to. And another thing, when you after you write down your weaknesses, you have to come up with a plan or come up with steps to improve upon your weaknesses. Okay, all right, because you have to know how to now that you know what it is you're weak on. Now you have to apply it. All right, you have to apply the change. Okay, because there's such a thing called cognitive dissonance. All right, and cognitive dissonance is basically like a battle in your mind when you have two conflicting things in your mind. Okay, all right, something that you know to be true. All right, but then you hear something contrary, and now you have a you hear something contrary. You either hear something contrary to what you know or what you're doing, or you do something contrary, right? So, say for instance, I say um, I say I love the Most High, but you know, throughout my day to day actions or throughout you know, my walk or whatever, you know, that's contrary. right? So you knowing that, that's called cognitive dissonance, all right? Because there's going to be a rising conflict in your mind because you know yourself, your conscience knows that this is different. It kind of puts you. It can do three things. It can put you in a state of denial, or so. What I mean is, if you're doing the opposite of what you think you're doing, or if someone teaches you the opposite of what you think you know, right? Um, then you have three choices, or I guess I should say two choices. You can either change it right then. So if it's something someone told you contrary, just like when Jake comes up to the camp to hear the truth, all right, they either have a choice. They either can put off whatever the hell they were believing in, or they can believe us. Okay, so that's your first option is to change it, right? Or the second option, I mean the other option or scenario would be that you would just make excuses, right? Because if you're not actually changing the behavior, all right, then you're just gonna make excuses, right? So that's um, that's pretty much it. Um, you know, I'm I really think brothers should. This is something that brothers should do is sit down and write down your strengths and weaknesses and improve yourself and be well rounded and you know constantly analyze yourself, um, meditate. Okay, consider your day-to-day actions. Okay, consider all your actions. All right, and make everything you do about Yahawah and Yahawashi. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say Shalom.